Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday. I'm a few minutes late for my Wednesday at noon for the Linda Jordan Show. I'm still trying to come up with a name for those that are listening. If you could help me come up with a creative name for my Facebook Live show, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So if you're just tuning in, let me know where you're listening from. And who you are if your name doesn't pop up. So I'd love to hear that. Grab a pen, get a small piece of paper. You may need to take a few notes. I won't be long today, but I just wanted to share a few tips with you on pain versus growth. Pain versus growth. So hopefully everyone's having a great day today. It's hard to believe this is the first Wednesday in November the 4th. Who knew? I mean, Halloween was this weekend and bam, it's already November. So I don't know about you, but I am not ready for Christmas shopping. This is going to be a different type of year this year with COVID and everything. And so I'm not sure if I'm really ready and not sure how things are going to work. But I'm ready for the holiday, but all that hoopla around shopping and stuff probably will not happen. So again, if you're just joining us, please put in the chat where you're joining and listening to me from. I'd love to hear where you are, what's going on with you today. So the day in the life of being a landlord, pain versus growth is the topic for today. So what I want to share or ask the question for those that are listening, which are you? Are you a thriver or are you a survivor? Are you a thriver or are you a survivor? So you're probably asking, well, what's the difference between the two? Well, a thriver is, and thanks for joining whoever just popped in. Let me know where you're joining from. I'd love to hear, where you're joining from. So pain versus growth. Are you a thriver or are you a survivor? So a survivor is someone, I'll use myself for an example. This is my 5th year of surviving breast cancer. And so that was truly a blessing for me. It allowed me to make decisions about my life and what I wanted to do and finding my passion, being my own boss. So I went through those motions of, the whole process of treatments and things of that nature and doctor's appointments and scanning and tests. Having the surgery. So I survived that diagnosis. I survived the diagnosis of breast cancer. As a thriver, someone thrives on something as opposed to surviving. There are a lot of people that thrive on someone else's pain. And are you a thriver or are you a survivor? If you are a thriver, you survive on someone else's pain. And, for you, that's something that really works. For all of you that are listening, most of us are really probably survivors. We survive a lot of pain. And that allows us to get to that path of growth, that path of developing, that path of doing what it is that we want to do in life. So are you a thriver or are you a survivor? So the next question I'll ask you is that, can you think of a bad experience from your past that you can look back at and see how you grew from it? We've all had bad experiences and, we've all had challenges, but some of those bad experiences has allowed us to grow from it. Think about it. A bad experience has allowed you to grow from it. So I'll use an example. While I was in corporate America working, a bad experience for me was, applying for a job that I thought I was more than qualified for, had all the credentials, so I thought. And I thought I was the best person for that job. But my competition was better. It was a bad experience for me because I, was planning and had my hopes up high about, what I wanted to do in this new role. And I thought that I met all of the qualifications. It was a bad experience for me because I allowed it to be a bad experience. It was really more of a learning experience. And so I took that opportunity to grow from that experience. I took that opportunity to say, okay, what are some of the criteria that I thought I had that I didn't have? If it was education, and those of you that know me, I went back to school or I took another certification and I got qualified in another area because maybe I thought that I had something that I didn't. And so sometimes we have to go back and regroup and think about what is it that we need to get to that next step. So for me, I went back in this particular situation, I went back and I got some more certifications to add to my profile to see if I, for the next time that something comes around, would I meet those qualifications and would I be able to get that position or to get that next level? So I needed to go back and, check myself and check what my skill sets were. There are also situations, and I'll just say in this particular situation too, where, I was thinking that, it was a bad situation because I didn't get the job. But as I said, it's not a bad situation if you don't get a promotion or if you don't get that next level of whatever that you're looking for. We need to take those opportunities or take those challenges or experiences and turn them into opportunities. And so learning a little bit more, connecting with the different type of people, letting people know what skill sets and talents you bring to the table, sharing your information in a different way than what you did before. If you're always the person that's quiet and sits in the back of the room, you might need to start communicating a little bit more and sharing more of your thoughts and ideas. And, that was me a lot of times in corporate. Even though I was in leadership, I too was an introvert. Hard to believe, but yes, I was an introvert. I was one of those people that was quiet, and I needed to, or should have been, a little bit more vocal. I was very vocal though when it came to my staff. I was like a little mother, but when it came to me, oftentimes in leadership, I wasn't as vocal as I should be. And stepping back now and looking at that, those were opportunities or chances, or events where I took them and turned them into opportunities. And so there's other different situations, I'm sure. If you have experiences that you want to share, put that in the chat and let's talk about that. So the next question I'll ask is, are you fully accountable for your reactions to painful situations? Are you fully accountable for your actions to painful situations? And so we have to be accountable for whatever actions that we take, or any actions in any situation, whether it's painful or not. We have to hold ourselves accountable. And, when you don't hold yourself accountable, then that whatever situation could come back around again. But we need to make sure that we are doing what is necessary to overcome those challenges. We are, taking notes or coming up with a strategy of how we just can't let things sit there and lie. So if you're just joining, or you're listening to this at another time, hit hashtag replay so I know that you were able to watch it. Or if you're watching live, put in that I'm watching live and where you're watching live from. But today we're just talking about pain versus growth. And, if you're a thriver or are you a survivor? And for me, October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I was a survivor. I didn't thrive on, pain. I didn't focus on the things that I couldn't do, or I didn't focus on the bad components, of my diagnosis. I didn't focus on the bad portions of when I didn't get that promotion. Or I don't focus on the bad components of, when I'm trying to broaden my business or buy a rental property. I don't focus on the bad areas of that. I focus on the growth. I focus on the growth. So when you're starting out in business, there's going to be some challenges that you will face. So I'll just be straight up honest. There are going to be challenges that we all face, or you will face if you're starting a business. But you have to find the growth opportunity in that. And that could be from connecting with someone else who may know more about whatever it is your business that you're starting, or it could be connecting with someone who may know a different way to get financing, connecting with someone who knows more about creating a website, connecting with someone who may know something more about social media, but getting yourself out there, sharing with others what is it that you really want to learn or do. Because when you keep things in silence, then no one will know that you're in need of something. So are you a thriver or are you a survivor when challenges come around? Are you a thriver or a survivor when challenges come around? Yes, you have to turn challenges into opportunities. You turn challenges into opportunities by looking at the positive side of whatever it is that you're facing. And so we have to do it every day. We have to do it every day. And if you focus on the negative, then a lot of times you may not be successful. You have to focus on the positive aspects of whatever challenge that you face. And for me today, I had to focus on a challenge of being a business owner. I had to focus on how I was going to change a negative situation into a positive. Now, I'm still working on that challenge, but by the end of the day, I would have accomplished it. I've got things in motion to get some things corrected about this challenge that I was facing, and I posted it earlier, but I was dealing with a situation where someone had a communication with one of my tenants, and it impacted them negatively. But somehow, I don't know, somehow they just kind of messed up a situation. So I'm trying to fix that. And so I'm trying to turn this negative into a positive so that the end result is that everyone will get along and there won't be any issues. So there's, things happen all the time when you're in business, and you have to pivot. You have to be able to make adjustments. You have to be able to make decisions very quickly. So you can't just sit on them and wait. When you're in corporate America, and I remember, having to make decisions in life as a leader in corporate, but we all had to come together and have a meeting, and we talk about these situations or whatever's going on, and then we report back to the VP, and everyone comes with a consensus. When you are a business owner, there is no VP, there is no manager, there's no operations manager, there's no supervisor. You are all of them in one person. You are all of them in one person. So it is up to you as the CEO, the supervisor, the manager, the director, the finance person, the HR person. It is up to you to either thrive or survive. It is up to you to turn pain into growth. It is up to you to turn challenges into opportunities, because you are the only person. If you are a solopreneur, you're the person that's responsible for everything. There's no one that's going to come and bail you out. You have to be able to make those decisions, and you have to be able to make those decisions quickly. Can't sit on them. Can't think about them forever. That's your business. And so in order to keep revenue generating in your business, you have to be able to make decisions quickly. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to turn pain into growth. You have to be able to turn challenges into opportunities. You have to be able to do all of this because you are the owner of your business. And so, yes, it can be challenging, it can be daunting, but it can also be so rewarding. It can be so rewarding. But you have to be willing to make those changes. You have to be willing to make those decisions, and you have to be okay with pivoting so quickly. But once you get in the groove of doing it, it's like riding a bike. it doesn't become a challenge at all. You find ways to make things happen because you are the boss. You are the owner of your empire. You will be the reason you either survive or not. You'll be the reason that either you have income or you don't. You have to make decisions and make them quickly, but be thoughtful in when you make those decisions. So for those of you that know me, yes, I'm working on my dissertation, and my topic is around how small business owners, particularly in real estate investing, make decisions using intuition, or do they? And so based upon the things that I've talked about today, turning pain into growth, pivoting very quickly, turning challenges into opportunities, those are things that you have to be able to do intuitively. You don't have the opportunity to pull out a piece of paper, and write down your goals and objectives all the time, or say, you can write out the pros and the cons, but oftentimes there's no data to help you make that decision. In your mind, you weigh out the pros and the cons, and then you come to a decision that you've made. But you have to be able to do that and do it quickly because you are the owner of your empire. So hopefully what I've shared with you today has been helpful. Hopefully you will go back if you're listening to this and write down your answers. Are you a thriver or are you a survivor? Can you turn a bad experience into a positive experience and find growth in that? And are you holding yourself accountable for painful situations that you may have experienced in your business? Are you holding yourself accountable? Are you able to turn a positive into a negative? And are you a thriver or are you a survivor? In the world today that we live in, we have to be survivors. But at the same time, we also need to thrive as we are going through all these challenges, because you don't want just to survive. You have to be able to thrive in order to make some headway. My example of breast cancer, surviving that, yes, I was a survivor. But as I have survived and became my own boss, I now have the ability to thrive and impact other people's lives and make a difference in the world. And that's what I want for you, to make a difference in the world. So if you're someone who is in corporate and you're in a position where you're trying to determine, what's your next step in life? Are you stressed out from the rat race of corporate America? Is it just a 9-to-5 for you and you have a true passion that you want to figure out what that is and start a new life? If that is you, then you need to talk to me. You and I need to have a conversation, to have a jumpstart discovery call to really figure out what is your passion, what do you want to do in life where you can make a difference in someone else's life. So go to my website at www.lindajordan.com and I'll post it in the comments. And set up some time with me so we can really have a conversation about, how do you thrive or how do you survive? How do you thrive after corporate? Or how do you survive while in corporate until you can get out? So connect with me, and I look forward to talking to you. Have a great day.